10,000 fearless on the move.
Let's go!
Deep in the delta where the willows grow, in the soil stained by the blood of my ancestors. Punch bowl voices call out to my soul for justice. The wicked will reap what they've sown. Spirit of Aziz is back on the rise. Soldiers in the delta kept it alive. Time to stand up, take our place in the sun. Understand the time and what must be done.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move. Mississippi. Sip.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the master.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless.
Did you say Mississippi?
Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move.
Once again,
Mississippi. Sip. Injustice we've had enough. All of our divisions we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless.
we got more than Mississippi.
Mississippi. 10K fearless on the move.
Are you listening?
Mississippi. Sip. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. 10K fearless on the move. In Mississippi, Mississippi. 10,000 fearless on the move.
Hi, salam alaikum. Peace be unto you, and welcome to another edition of the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. I am your brother, friend, and host, Abdul Shahid Muhammad. And man, I'm a little late getting on because I was having some technical difficulties, and I'm going to have to backtrack and do some troubleshooting. My tonight's program label shows The Great Commotion, and I could not, for some reason, change it and put what our actual program subject matter is for tonight, because our actual subject matter for tonight is, and let me pull it up for you real quick, if it'll come up. Where is it? Oh, boy. All right, come on, subject matter, where you at? Our subject matter is thankful for 2025. Be watchful and prayerful. That's our subject matter for tonight. And we want to encourage our listeners, instead of wishing one another a happy new year, we should wish one another God's peace and favor for 2025, that no matter what comes our way this year and beyond, we will be able to navigate our way through whatever comes. So that's our subject matter for tonight. Again, it's thankful in 2025. Be watchful and prayerful. And tonight we will be discussing the importance of having God's grace and favor in our lives that will equip us with the essentials needed to face whatever comes in 2025 and beyond. So, brothers and sisters, we thank you. Those who are tuning in, we thank you so very much for taking time out of your schedule to be with us this evening. And I see you all coming on. Let me get to my shout outs. I see my sister Audrey on. Brother Keith is on. Sister Patricia too. Sister Jamil is on. Oh, let's give Sister Jamil a round of applause. Congratulations, dear Sister Jamil, for successfully reciting. She is now Sister Jamil X. I see someone else on, but it's not labeled. I don't see your name next to it. And we are just happy to be back on. Man, this is weird. I got some weird stuff going on with the podcast, as though someone has changed my settings. That's right, sister. All praise is due to Allah. But at any rate, we're going to move forward, and I'll double back and check our settings and make sure they are what they should be for the Light, Life, and Power Network. And we'll make sure that we have things set properly the next time that we broadcast. I was on the assumption that everything was as it should be because I didn't change anything. So I'll have to send a troubleshooting ticket to Podbean and ask them, why in the heck could I not start a new or launch a new podcast instead of using the last label of the Arise and Shine podcast, who is also on this network. So I actually had to launch from using the last logo and label. It wouldn't let me change the label. But hey, I'm not going to hop on that. We're thankful to be here. Thankful that you can hear us. And tonight, of course, it is always our prayer that we will say that which will be beneficial and guide and service guidance in these troubling times. Let me begin properly. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, we bear witness to the oneness of God, the oneness of his prophets, the oneness of the scriptures that were revealed through them to the whole of humanity. Please allow us to greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum. As we say those words, they simply mean, may peace be unto you. Let me go ahead and get to our axioms for tonight. You all know I like to use axioms, right, to guide our discussion and to serve as that which undergirds the base from which we talk. An axiom is a statement or proposition which is regarded as being established, accepted, or self-evidently true to serve as a premise or starting point for further reasoning and arguments. So we open with what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has given us, which is a powerful, powerful axiom. And brothers and sisters, I repeat these because repetition is a part of getting something concretized in our consciousness. You know how they taught you your ABCs? You can be 50, 60, 70, 80 years old. As long as your brain is still functioning and your mental faculties are still with you, you can remember that song even though you learned it 50 years ago, 60 years ago, right? So it is. Well, that is because of the repetition with which they concretized it or seared it into your consciousness. So it is with these axioms. So the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said to us, he who gives you the diameter of your knowledge prescribes for you the circumference of your activity. I've committed that bad boy to memory. So always remember, don't allow anyone to confine or to limit the diameter of your knowledge. God intends for you to learn as much as you desire, especially in the way of righteousness and wisdom. The second one from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan I like to give tonight is his definition of a slave. And you listen at this and tell me, are we still slaves or not? I got my brother, he's calling in. Let me get him silenced. Okay, just stand by, my dear brother. We'll have you on in just a second. This is Brother William, man. He's ready for the farm report. And I'm running behind, actually, big brother. So please stand by and be patient. But the second axiom from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he says, a slave is one whose power and authority is ruled over by another, and whose sphere of freedom is limited according to the wishes of his master. Uh-oh. Am I being heard? Okay, cool. Okay. I just want to make sure now. Want to make sure. Want to make sure y'all hearing me nice, loud, and clear. Okay, y'all. Okay, my brother. Just stand by. Stand by just a moment. Okay. So we got that axiom. Slave, one whose power and authority ruled over by another, and whose sphere of freedom is limited according to the wishes of his master. So we make sure we keep that in mind as we go, okay? And one I would like to share with you tonight that you haven't heard this one before, but this one serves as guidance for the coming year from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And he gave us something really, really powerful in my estimation, brothers and sisters, to think about as we go into the new year. And I want to share it with you. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said to us, as it relates to the incoming new year, he said the first day of the new year should be a day of reflection, a day of prayer, a day of praise and thanks that we were blessed to make it through the last year. Because there are so many of those we know, those that we love, who started the new year with us last year, but did not know that it would be the beginning of their last year on this earth. So when we are fortunate to be alive to see an old year go out and a new year comes in, for me, he says, that time should be spent reflecting and thanking God for those who touched our lives and sweetened our own presence on this earth, but are no longer present with us. So we don't say Happy New Year. We say, peace be unto you. And we pray that God's grace, mercy, and peace will be with you for the year 2025. So those are our axioms to get us started. And I'm going to do as we always do, because, it's really something, and there's a lot going on in the world. We're going to be coming out of the final call, but we're going to get our announcements out of the way, and we're going to get to the farm report. So you all stand by, and we'll be right back, okay? Don't go nowhere now.
It's 12:20. Chilling in the studio, taking over the world. Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I come in peace, I don't mean you no harm. I say assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I come in peace, I don't mean you no harm. I don't mean you no. See, I come in peace, ain't nobody I am hurting except my enemies, but for my brothers I am working, cause the powers that be wanna see, that's why they're lurking. We're both making our peace, but different food we are serving. See, mine is for the fork, adding substance to the fork, and yours is for the court, doing chores for the pork.
Shake's famous seasonings, flavors for every occasion. Want to add a touch of authentic flavor to any dish? Searching for a unique range of seasonings that always put great taste on the menu? Welcome to Shake's Famous Seasonings. Whether you're a professional chef, passionate home cook, or a complete beginner in the kitchen, taste and flavor should always be on the menu. It's why Master Chef Rashid Muhammad has combined more than 30 years in the kitchen with a passion for mouth-watering flavors to create a range of seasonings unlike any other. Always gluten-free, so you can enjoy great taste exactly how nature intended. Versatile flavors that work with fresh fish, chicken, or vegetables from the very first bite. Authentic cooking experience that adds something special to any occasion. Versatile seasonings that are perfect for baking, frying, grilling, and plenty of tasting. Ready for real, authentic flavor? When it's time to see just how delicious seasoned foods can be, why wait? With the click of a button, you can have 30 years of passion for food sent direct to your door. Just what you need to add flavors to every occasion and create meals that you'll always want to eat twice.
Place your order at sfseasonings.com. That's sfseasonings.com. Taste the difference. Taste Supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme spring water with natural calcium and magnesium, but zero fluoride and zero chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme. Be supreme. Drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water, 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience The Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. Theurbanindulgence.com.
Worldwide, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Download the Final Call radio app and take us everywhere. On your phone, on your computer, on your tablet, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can also log on to finalcall.com and click the Listen Live button, or finalcallradio.com. Final Call Radio, the official voice of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam.
What's your source for truth in news reporting?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Don't shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
10,000 fearless on the move.
And we are back live with the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. Once again, I am your brother, friend, and host, Abdul Shahid Muhammad. And man, it's been a strange past hour and a half, man. Getting myself, I'm used to this now. I know how this works. So some settings apparently have been changed. Not sure how they got changed, but we're going to find out. So again, brothers and sisters, tonight episode, we're going to be just expressing a little thanks and gratitude, first of all, for making it into 2025. And the subtitle I would like to say to us, this year and beyond, we would be wise, 1, to be watchful, and 2, to be prayerful. So we're going to discuss the importance of having God's peace and favor in our lives that will equip us with the essentials needed to face whatever will come this year and really beyond. So we need to have an attitude of gratitude, and to facilitate that thought, I'm going to go into some of the headlines that are really, really dominating the news. We all know what's going on in Los Angeles, but there are some other headlines, some that may not really make headlines in mainstream media. So, of course, we have to go to that wonderful, wonderful newspaper entitled The Final Call newspaper. And this year's the head news story for this issue, I should say, of The Final Call is Heartbreaking Haiti, or Haiti, as we better know it. But we're not necessarily going to go to what's really happening in Haiti, although I should be on Haiti. You should really study the history of Haiti. Haiti is not just some country full of people that don't know how to govern. If you understand the history of Haiti and its relationship with the French, and Haiti being the first and only black nation to fight for and win its independence, Western powers have resented that fact and that historical event and milestone since it has occurred. So Haiti is not the way or in the condition she's in by happenstance and absent any outside interference. You should know that for sure. But we're going to get into the first thing that I want to put on our minds is something that has been very, very quiet as it relates to the mainstream news. And I do understand that the fires, yeah, I can see how that will be the main headline in terms of what's happening in this country right now. But I tell you, brothers and sisters, this story right here is something that we should really give attention to because it happened in a place in America that one would think that the people there would be a bit more progressive in their thinking. And before I even go there, I got to go and do something that I failed to do. Really forgot to do. I got to go back to Brother William and get the farm report. That's right. Yeah, I got to double back. So let's hit the backup button and bring our brother in. Brother William. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, sir.
Brother, I was fixing to skip all over you tonight, man. So, brother, I was going to skip all over you, man. See, me getting set up, it just kind of threw me off kilter, man. So I'm kind of like a little bit discombobulated, but I'm back on track. I'm back on track now. So, my brother, please give us the farm report and what's happening local, state, and national.
Yes, sir. Well, on the local report, everything is just at a standstill right now due to the weather. It's winter time, so we just gearing up, in combination with the State Farm, give you both of those simultaneously because we actually work as one unit. We just, stocking up for seeds, preparing for seed trays. We're getting ready to start putting some seeds in seed trays so that, inshallah, in the spring, we can go ahead and start planting what we got in the seed trays. We're also stocking up on seeds. We just made an order with Muhammad Farms to get us some seeds in because that's the only source right now that I see that we can trust.
Yes.
Wholeheartedly.
Yes,
We just put an order in for seeds. I think we got about 15 to 20 different crops of seeds that we just put orders in for. Hopefully, we'll be getting those seeds in shortly. And on the state level, what we're doing also is we get ready to try to also make seed vaults and those Nala bags that you can use to store the navy beans in the buckets. We're going to use some of those. Also, they're used with Brother Junior's product with his Silk Road dehydrated navy bean soup mix.
Yes, sir.
And once we put them in those, you can keep those seeds stored for up to 10 years, provided that they're kept in a dark, dry, cool place away from any types of pests or anything,
right?
Rodents or whatever. Right. So that's where we at right now, trying to prepare those for seeds, but once we get them for long-term storage, and on the national level, Dr. Ridgely has actually been picking broccoli. They got broccoli going. It's ready. Some people been coming. They're getting some of the broccoli. They also been dealing with some of the local people, getting the broccoli to them out there in Burnwood, Georgia. So I'm trying to make some type of arrangements that I can hopefully be able to go out there and pick up some bushels of broccoli. So
yes,
just trying to nail that down.
Brother, I would appreciate that. That sure would be nice. If you can get some bushels of broccoli, I'd be more than happy to send you down there with some money to get us some, brother. I promise you I would.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to negotiate something now. I think they got rutabaga as well, and turnips. I think it was.
Yes,
so we're trying to get just make some type of plans to go down there and get that and bring it back. And and outside, and that's it. As far as that report, but he's been discussing about how they're trying to get it so that by the year 2030. The organic farmer would be completely out of business. That's what they're working on. I've been doing some research on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They got yes, sir. So they got House Farm Bill, and it's just for some of the stuff that I read in it, it's going to be just terrible. which is the reason why we need to be trying to grow our own food, because what they're doing is they're taking regulations away from the pesticides that can be added to the food. They're also making it so that the people won't be able to sue the companies that make those pesticides. So right, that was just a couple of things that I saw in that bill. They don't even have to. Matter of fact, they don't even have to put the warnings on the crops that they'll be selling in the stores about the pesticides and the dangers of them.
They don't have to put warnings labels on it to let you know the
And
adverse effect.
Exactly. And one of the other things that is happening is that this will prohibit the rights of states and local governments to restrict pesticides and to protect the public health and the environment, because we know that using the pesticides, that creates havoc on, the local areas. Even with the water, it contaminates the water, erodes the land, and it's no good. So, but if they have their way, which I'm looking at, and this was back in May of 2024, actually, from this article, because pesticides that I'm going to try to make those articles available. As a matter of fact, I shared them, with some of the believers.
Yes, sir.
But I'm trying to make this public. So I'm going to be asking people to help me spread this information to as many other people in the public as we can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We do need to know that, Brother William, because one of the things that I've been finding out, brother, a lot of the pesticides, food ingredients, additives that are legal in America are banned in just about every other Western country of Europe. I can't remember. I had it on the tip of my tongue. It's some yellow, not yellow, but pink paste that they use in ground beef. That's okay.
Yes, sir.
In America, but in Europe, it's banned, brother. It's banned. A lot of the pesticides they use, they're banned. Only America, because profit takes precedence over people, and they'll come up with some educated, well-spoken doctor or scientists that come before the people with a lot of fancy verbiage and trick us into believing that, well, the presence of this additive is so minute that it will have no adverse effects on your health. It should wash out in the, I'm like, man, but time and time again, right now, as a matter of fact, Arkansas, the state of Arkansas, here's for instance, as it relates to the vaccine, Arkansas is going to try to hold these pharmaceutical executives criminally liable for vaccine injuries. Arkansas lawmakers are weighing legislation that could, and this is an article in the Final Call, y'all. See, this is where you need to really get your news to know what's happening.
Yes, sir.
But Arkansas lawmakers, they are weighing legislation that could pierce the pharmaceutical industry's federal liability shield for vaccine injuries by holding corporate executives criminally liable for vaccine harms if they concealed evidence of risks associated with a vaccine that subsequently seriously injured or killed the recipient. So, Honorable Louis Farrakhan told us as soon as they started talking about vaccines, he warned us. And here are his words. His words are there right here in the Final Call. He said, brothers and sisters, do not take the COVID-19 vaccine. That's what he said. Right. It is unsafe, ineffective, and it is not even a vaccine. This is in the Final Call. I'm reading what's in the Final Call now. It does not stop infections, and it does not stop transmissions of the pathogen known as COVID-19. They said that. And when ivermectin began to work, they tried to say that it was dangerous to use it. And just to give you all some numbers, brothers and sisters, this is why we cannot trust them. We've never been able to trust this government. We've never been able to trust the World Health Organization. or what's the one, the national one here in the United States, brother? It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't get it out. But listen at some of these. Yeah. Thank you, sir. But listen at what's in the final call. It says, important. If you or a loved one has suffered a bad reaction to the COVID-19 vaccine, contact your doctor immediately and then report it to the CDC's Vaccine Adverse Events Reporting System. It's called VAERS for short. You know, and here's below, and what I'm reading in the final call, is the latest data from the VAERS system showing the deadly result of taking the COVID-19 vaccines. See, they don't publish this information. They don't tell you what has happened. There have been 38,190 deaths. As a result, this is through November 29th of 2024. And it's a total of 1,656,138 reports to VAERS. 38,000 of those, 38,190 are deaths. 219,170 caused hospitalizations. 155,989 sent people to urgent care. 246,209 sent people to the doctor. And 10,924 caused anaphylaxis. And 17,864 caused Bell's palsy. And there are another list of side effects from migraines to heart attacks. 22,082 resulted in a heart attack.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So 16,278 caused shingles. 47,241 people suffered a severe allergic reaction. You know, and a host of other adverse effects as a result of taking this COVID-19 vaccine. So the minister said, and I quote the Honorable Louis Farrakhan again, he said, so don't take the vaccines. There are 14 therapies that are in the world today that we can use to fight against the COVID-19 or the COVID virus, end quote. So, you know, what you're saying, brother, and this is the kind of information, brother, I would like for you to come before us and give us a list of the pesticides and the additives that they use that's legal in the U.S., but they are banned in just about every other European nation. And I just find that very interesting. Yes, sir. But anything else, brother, before we part ways?
Yes, sir. I just want to add a couple of key points to what you were saying.
Please do.
One, also from the research that I've been doing and some of the articles I've been reading, they're also trying to put the vaccine in certain foods, some of the meats, some of the fruits and veggies, that they're actually, from what I've been reading, injecting the vaccine in to make sure that those who did not get the jab will some type of way end up, still getting it.
Yes, sir.
And also, I read some very credible reports, and I was looking at some interesting videos from scientists who did the breakdown of the coronavirus and the proteins that were added to it. Due to a lot of people had started becoming, they were testing positive for HIV after they had got the jab. And when the scientists examined it, studied it, they found that there were strands of HIV also used in the vaccine. So this is just something that, and it goes even deeper than that. I got a book called Emerging Viruses.
Yes, sir.
By Dr. Howard. Yes, sir. And I think it was his wife that gave me that book at Savior's Day in 1997. And these are diseases or these viruses that they're coming up, released on the public now. All of these are listed in this book, and it tells you the names of the scientists that were involved. Even with the HIV virus, there was
I don't know what happened, Brother William. Hold on, brother. Somehow you got
Yes, sir.
Okay, there you are. You're back. But please continue.
Yes, sir. And so, it gives the names of the scientists involved, the doctors, with the HIV virus, the money that was allocated from Congress that was given to these scientists to actually make this biological weapon. And that's what's being done. They're testing biological weapons on us without us even knowing. Some of us, seem as though we're not even concerned because we're too busy doing other things,
That's right.
But the Final Call newspaper is very important. A lot of information comes out through the Final Call and then in research. So when people say that we're just conspiracy theorists, we can actually do research and find that, what we're saying is 100% true based on documented records.
That's right, brother. That's right. And we have to begin to understand, brothers and sisters, the Final Call newspaper is not a religious newspaper. We're not trying to teach you Islam through the newspaper. We're trying to share with you the truth and factual information and national and international news, as the jingle says when it plays. So, and our people know and understand that mainstream news outlets have not been truthful. I mean, they're not trustworthy. We know that,
That's right.
And our people know and understand that. You hear people talk about and complain all the time about how, news reporting is skewed and all this, but, we still rely on them, for our source or our information source. So we just need to really think about it and make some changes as it relates to our diet, as it relates to the news outlets that we listen to or go to for information, especially the kind as it relates to growing food, medicines, and all of this. So, but my brother, look, man, as always, Brother William, we thank you. We applaud you for what you do, brother. We are prayerful that God will continue to bless and protect you and your family. How are those little twins, brother? I saw them little handsome brothers on, and I've been seeing the pictures Sister Marissa been posting.
Yes, sir. They're doing good. As a matter of fact, I thought you probably could hear them in the background because I just got through feeding them.
Yeah, I hear them too. I was just about to say that, brother. We're looking forward to just meeting them, but of course, we're patient, brother. It would be such a pleasure to see them and meet them, man, and have them, be with us and we be with them. So inshallah, that time will come about soon. We know the distance, brother, and the hustle and bustle of, parenting and moving them about. It can be a logistical challenge. So, but anyway, my brother, thank you so much, Brother William. Please give our love and greetings and peace to your family, to your queen, and to the babies in the house. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. All praises due to Allah. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, sir.
All right, brothers and sisters, that was our dear Brother William Muhammad with the Farm Report. We went a little further into the importance of knowing what's in the food and other things, what's in your vaccine, what's in, your local grocery store, what's on the shelves. So, brothers and sisters, 2025 is starting off to be a year that we had better be very, very watchful. And it would behoove us to be prayerful and mindful of the time that we are living, in which we are living, and what we must do. I see my brother Rahman is on. Assalamu alaikum, sir. I hope he's been a bit under the weather for the past several days. I'm hoping my brother is recovering well. The fact that he is tuned in, says to me that he is on the mend and coming back this way. But dear brothers and sisters, this year, it would behoove us to be not only watchful, but definitely be prayerful. Because as we walked into 2025, wow, that still sounds funny coming out of my mouth. 2025, a lot is happening. That's not good. And I'm going to start with a news story out of the Final Call that I was segueing into before we did the Farm Report. And it is a report out of New York. It's a very disturbing report. I don't know whether or not all of you who are listening have heard about it. But in the Final Call newspaper, it's on page 3 of this week's issue. And the headline or the title of the article is entitled "No Regard for Human Life," where a handcuffed New York inmate was beaten to death by the correctional officers. All of it was captured on body cam. It was anywhere from 5 or 6 or more officers on camera choking this man, kicking him, beating him. He's handcuffed, mind you. And no one is intervened to stop it. Nobody, from the footage that I've seen. And I don't know. I know it's floating around on social media. I don't know whether or not it's made national news yet. Because a lot of times I don't really get an opportunity to sit and watch the news. If I do, and I do sometimes, but I have not seen this on CNN or the main major networks. I hadn't heard it talked about. That's not to say that it has not been. But let me read you a little bit of what was reported in the Final Call newspaper, if you would give ear to it. It says in this article, calls for justice ring out around the nation yet again as chilling body cam video showing the brutal beating of 43-year-old black male inmate Robert Brooks at the hands of New York State Department of Corrections and Community Supervision officers at Marcy Correctional Facility in Oneida County left viewers in a familiar state of rage and devastation. Mr. Brooks, who was serving a 12-year sentence for assault since 2017. So this brother's been locked up since 2017. So he's been in 6 years. He was moved to Marcy Correctional Facility on December 9th, 2024, from the nearby Mohawk Correctional Facility. So he was moved from Mohawk to Marcy on December 9th. And the article continues saying, according to prison records, the transfer came after Mr. Brooks was assaulted twice by other inmates in Mohawk and was seemingly moved for his safety. Wow, talk about out of the frying pan and into the fire. However, shortly after he arrived at Marcy Correctional Facility, Mr. Brooks experienced a vicious encounter with correctional officers and died soon after. While his official cause of death is still pending, autopsy details reveal that Mr. Brooks suffered, listen at this now, multiple bruises of his face and extremities, fracture of the nasal bone, multiple soft tissue hemorrhage of the muscles of the interior right and left sides of the neck, hemorrhage overlaying of the thyroid cartilage, hemorrhage of the, listen at this now, hemorrhage of the genital area, soft tissues, the penis, and both testicles, according to court documents. They brutalized this man. They stomped or kicked this man in his genital area viciously enough to cause hemorrhaging from his penis and his testicles. This is in 2025, happened in 2024, but this is the kind of thing that's still happening to black people. And when you see the footage, all of the officers involved that I see in the picture frame, and I'm looking at it now, are Caucasian men. Nobody in the footage I saw made any effort to stop anybody from brutalizing his brother. Wow. The article continues. It says the documents also note that the medical examiner who conducted the autopsy on behalf of the Onondaga County Medical Examiner's Office also reported, quote, concern for asphyxia due to compression of the neck as cause of death, as well as death being due to the actions of another, end quote. So essentially they're saying it was a homicide. And the interesting thing, another caveat in this, it says that, where is it? Here it is. No, that's not it. I read a part in here about one of the officers involved. They went to his home and took all the guns from him because they were fearful that he was a threat to himself and threat to others, potentially. So I guess, maybe he was contemplating committing suicide. Who knows? I have no idea. But if you've seen that footage, man, my God, it's very, very difficult to watch because it's one thing watching a group of people. You see this kind of stuff on Facebook and social media platforms, YouTube. You see somebody getting gang jumped, but at least their extremities are free to where they can, to some degree, defend themselves. But watching a completely defenseless person who's handcuffed and shackled get mercilessly beaten, that kind of sears into the consciousness, especially for those who are not accustomed to seeing that level of violence. I have seen my share of it working in the field that I'm in. But man, that kind of beating that they gave that brother and the aftermath of it, I understand why, they don't want to put it in mainstream. And black folks in America, we better wake the heck up real quick, because we really know we have no more excuses for what's happening to us. At some point, we're going to have to stand up and take a stand, and there are many of our people speaking out. But, how long will we allow ourselves to be subjected to these kinds of indignities and the violence that we suffer from, and think that we can live in peace with a government and system that has taken diabolical measures to persistently marginalize, kill, maim, pollute? We suffer not just racism in terms of the color of our skin. We suffer economic racism or white supremacy through economics, through housing, through food, even down to where we live. I grew up in an area in Memphis where they dumped the Agent Orange in the black community. And that's where our homes are built. And we find out years later that this stuff has been in our community and we've been living it. In the area that I grew up, from beginning in the 7th grade, there is a high incidence of cancer. One of my best friends died from cancer that I grew up with. My father died of cancer. My oldest sister passed from cancer. So in that area, there's a high incidence of cancer among black people. Black people didn't have, if you remember, if you're old enough, back in the day, cancer was a strange disease for black people, just like AIDS was when it first hit. But now we are the number one sufferers of this. So, but those that are tuned in, please feel free to engage in the conversation. You can actually call in. I was intended to let you know that on the front end. You have something you want to share, and I see your comments on the dashboard. I see you all are liking and sharing the show, sharing the program, and give me some few shout-outs, some more shout-outs. Man, y'all done got on here tonight. I see my brother, Ricky is on. Yeah, assalamu alaikum, sir. Brother Ricky wants to start a podcast, and we're gonna contact our regional headquarters and see if we can facilitate that. And there are others on that are online that I can't see your names. I see Brother Quentin. Yeah, I see Brother Quentin is on. Brothers and sisters, thank you all for taking time out. But this article in the final call is, it's hard to read. Not because of words, but what happened, what they did to this brother is really, really, really jaw-dropping. And we're almost desensitized to it as a people because we don't even really talk about it amongst ourselves anymore. It's kind of like, we've accepted our lot of occasionally having this kind of story hit the headlines and we go, they done beat another brother to death for absolutely no reason or unnecessarily, and it'll pass. We'll talk about it a few days and, go away, and then some other headline will pop up and the family is left to grieve and, live with the emotional and psychological scars and the video footage that will be in cyberspace, and people will play it and replay it and that kind of thing. And the family will get justice delayed, which is essentially justice denied, and they'll drag it out for years on end before they resolve it. Then they'll only get some meaningless concession from whomever is in power or governing at the time, that's nowhere near commensurate to what they've suffered as a family and the pain and the loss. So, brothers and sisters, this is why in 2025, we better watch as well as pray. We better be careful where we go. We better be careful of being in large crowds. We better be careful of the big arenas and the big gatherings, football games and concerts. We better be mindful of the time we're living in and what must be done. We're at the top of the hour. Normally at the top of the hour, I take a break, and I want to come back with the second half of the program, and we're going to deal with maybe 2 more articles out of the final call. But tonight, brothers and sisters, we want to just thank Almighty God, Allah, for allowing us to make it to 2025. And we wanted to encourage you as we read these headlines of what's happening in 2025. We need to reflect and really think about how we are going to govern ourselves in the coming months and what it is that we must do in this time to secure our families and to ensure the number one thing that we need to do to improve our chances greatly of having a peaceful year is to make peace with He who is the creator of the heavens and the earth, because He's demanding it. And if we would just watch what's going on, we'll see that it is clear. So we're going to take a break, and we're going to be right back after these commercial announcements. You all stand by.
And the only people on this earth, Brother Alton, the only people on this earth that use their religion and their so-called belief in God as an excuse not to stand up and confront their enemy is my people. Negroes are the only people I know that use it.
Ghost. I ain't dead. It's a pleasure to give my life just to live forever. He who weaponizes the blood of martyrs said, get your children ready for the slaughter. Blame the patriarchy, thank your fathers. But every racist devil had a racist mama. When strange fruit meets forbidden fruit, your hands up today, don't shoot. So say my name. Really can't afford this price of fame. Who knew the guy had a boomerang and he called her karma? She ain't never shied away from no drama. From 1555 to 1955, we watched it intensify. Some still believe the lies, cause niggas too scared to believe they eyes. My fear died in the Tallahatchie. Rose from the dead, can't catch me. Patron saint of the get back. Gave birth to the hit back. Graduated to the click clack. Black Panthers and the black Muslims, yeah, devil this that. Paid back as a Karen with a pimp slap. You don't wanna miss that. Got the weight of the world on my back, devil lift that.
It is a will, there's a way.
Taste the difference. Taste Supreme. Enjoy our 100% natural Supreme spring water with natural calcium and magnesium, but zero fluoride and zero chloride. Our bottles are BPA free. Order yours today. Call us at 800-573-8033. That's 800-573-8033. Or visit us online at www.supremespringwater.com. Live supreme, be supreme, drink supreme. Supreme Spring Water, 801 Joseph E. Boone Boulevard, Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30314.
Shake's Famous Seasonings, flavors for every occasion. Want to add a touch of authentic flavor to any dish? Searching for a unique range of seasonings that always put great taste on the menu? Welcome to Shake's Famous Seasonings. Whether you're a professional chef, passionate home cook, or a complete beginner in the kitchen, taste and flavor should always be on the menu. It's why Master Chef Rashid Muhammad has combined more than 30 years in the kitchen with a passion for mouth-watering flavors to create a range of seasonings unlike any other. Always gluten-free, so you can enjoy great taste exactly how nature intended. Versatile flavors that work with fresh fish, chicken, or vegetables from the very first bite. Authentic cooking experience that adds something special to any occasion. Versatile seasonings that are perfect for baking, frying, grilling, and plenty of tasting. Ready for real authentic flavor? When it's time to see just how delicious seasoned foods can be, why wait? With the click of a button, you can have 30 years of passion for food sent direct to your door. Just what you need to add flavors to every occasion and create meals that you'll always want to eat twice.
Place your order at sfseasonings.com. That's sfseasonings.com.
The Urban Indulgence Bath and Body Boutique. At Urban Indulgence, we pride ourselves on offering quality, effective skincare. Handcrafted with plant-based, skin-loving ingredients, our soaps and body butters will give you luxurious lather and ultimate moisture. Experience the Urban Indulgence at 3314 Poplar Avenue in Memphis, 3 blocks west of Poplar Plaza, or shop with us online at theurbanindulgence.com. theurbanindulgence.com.
What's your source for truth in news reporting?
Justice, no peace. No justice, no peace.
Where do you turn for non-corporate driven news that's fair and balanced?
No shoot. No shoot.
Subscribe to the Final Call News, your #1 free and independent news source that delivers hard-hitting national and international news coverage of today's political, economic, and social issues. To subscribe to local home delivery, call us at area code 662-252-8999. That's 662-252-8999. Visit our website at www.finalcall.com.
10,000 fearless on the move.
12, chilling in the studio, taking over the world. Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I come in peace, I don't mean you no harm. I say assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I come in peace, I don't mean you know, I don't mean you know. See, I come in peace, ain't nobody I am hurting, except my enemies, but for my brothers I am working. Cause the powers that be wanna see, that's why they're lurking. We're both making our peace, but different food we are serving. See, mine is for the fork, adding substance to the fork, and yours is for the court, doing chores for the pork. We're both under pressure, getting burnt by this 33rd degree. So why on earth you wanna smoke me? It's your brother who's broke, it's your brother who's dying, it's your brother who you poke. Stick him up with the iron.
And we are back live here at the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. Again, I am your brother and host and friend Abdul Shaheed Muhammad. I think I'm going to make that my theme song for 2025. That just resonates with me right now. Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam. I come in peace. I don't mean you no harm. We really need some peace. Brothers and sisters, we're on the downslope at this episode, this first episode really of 2025. And we are so thankful to Almighty God that we are still here and we can still communicate. And we have these modern means by which to stay connected. I see all of the brothers and sisters on. Man, I'm so glad to see each and every one of you. It warms my heart. We got some great things coming up in Holly Springs, Mississippi, 2025. Y'all stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. But next, I want to move to, well, before I go there, I'm calling on you all, Marshall County. We want you to subscribe to the Final Call. We are trying to get some subscribers. We thank all of you who support us every week. We're there in Marshall County. We're there in Holly Springs and the surrounding areas. We got brothers in Coldwater. We got brothers in Tupelo. We got brothers way down in Louisville. We got brothers in Greenville. We're all over the place down there. We got Byhalia brothers up that way. We got brothers even down in the Senatobia area distributing the Final Call newspaper. So we thank you, those that support us. But we would like to get a good, steady 1,000 of you to subscribe, and we would like to deliver it to your door where there is no question that you're going to get that newspaper, and we will be honored if you would support the Final Call newspaper. If you want to subscribe, drop us a line at P.O. Box 517, Holly Springs, Mississippi, 38635. We also have available, we just got a new shipment in, y'all, of that Supreme Bean Pie. Make sure you come by at 165 North Memphis Street. We'll be there this Sunday now, weather permitting. I emphasize that because we are expecting a winter blast to come through this area starting tonight, as a matter of fact. So people have been out and about, man, at the grocery stores. They were crowded, pushing and shoving and going on, and potatoes are all gone. So brothers and sisters, make sure you have what you need. But pending the weather, we will be present in Holly Springs. I will not be there. I am scheduled to speak in Memphis, inshallah, this Sunday. But we will be open for our regular service, and our staff will be there. So come by and visit with us, 165 North Memphis Street this Sunday, and get you one of those Supreme Bean Pies, okay? So as we continue, as I was talking about the winter blast that we are expecting, everybody know what's going on in California. And I was reminded of something that one of our pioneers who have returned to Allah, may Allah be pleased with her, our dear sister, Mother Millie, because I remember her saying it. She said, the dear Holy Apostle said, California was going to burn. Matter of fact, he went as far as to say, don't purchase any property on the West or the East Coast, because God will be curtailing this country on all of her sides. Now, this is not something we're joyous over. I don't want you to think that, we're celebrating or victory lapping. No, God's warning is a great, great expression of his love and mercy when he's displeased with a nation. We are taught, in the Holy Quran records, if I may get scriptural with you, that when a people stray or a nation strays far enough from God's straight path, before he punishes one, he raises one up from amongst that people with what is called divine revelation, or divine message, that whomsoever would follow the guidance found in that revelation, they would be guided back to God's straight path and avert his punishment. But when God raises that messenger, he seizes that nation with distress and affliction that they may humble themselves to the message, humble themselves to the fact they are off the path, humble themselves to the fact that their behavior is not pleasing. And God is poised to destroy that nation, to chastise it. So in his act of love, not out of hate, but out of love for his creation, God raises a messenger. Well, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad fits that to the T. And one like unto him fits that to the T, as both men have been telling us to watch the weather. Both men have been warning that America is under divine judgment. Now, you don't have to believe it. God is not necessarily concerned with us believing it or not. because that does not change the fact of what we see happening. So in California, let me read a little bit about what's going on. And even before we get to California, don't you remember that the Southerners are still cleaning up from tornadoes that swept through the region December 28th? That was just a few days ago. It's less than 2 weeks ago, I think. Not quite 2 weeks ago. Tornadoes swept Texas and other areas December the 28th. And then Athens, Alabama was one of the places that the tornado swept through. And the cleanup, as the article says, cleanup was underway after a strong storm system spawned hail, rain, high winds, and tornadoes across the southern U.S., killing at least 4. And as of December the 30th, that afternoon, over 30 tornadoes. Did y'all hear that? 30 tornadoes had been confirmed as crews worked through about 50 reports of tornado damage spanning from Texas to South Carolina. From Texas to South Carolina. Now put your mind and your mind's eye on an American map. And let your eyes swing from Texas all the way over to South Carolina. Tornadoes swept all the way through there. That's a lot of miles, Doc. So Montgomery County, 50 homes, and it goes through the damage. I'm going to ask you to go and read the final call. Go and get your latest copy. Go get your latest copy now of the Final Call newspaper, because be it the will of Allah, we're going to continue to report what's really happening and what we really should be watching for. That's why I said 2025, we better watch as well as pray, because the servant of God is like a watchman on the wall that sounds the alarm. And those of us who help, we do the same thing. And that's partly what this podcast is about. But the tornadoes from just a few days ago, they're still dealing with that. Meanwhile, over the past, how many hours, y'all? How many hours has it been now since the California wildfires started? As they are speaking, they said LA County Sheriff, he is seeking a curfew now to stop unacceptable looting. So they were looting now, according to news reports. LA County Sheriff Robert Luna said his department is hoping to implement a curfew beginning Thursday from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. in order to combat looting in the areas impacted by the Palace, I can't pronounce that county, and Eaton fires. And the news came during a press conference hosted by the LA Fire Department on Thursday, this afternoon, earlier today. Listen to what he says. He said, I think most of you heard our press conference earlier today. We had a number of looting arrests throughout the entire county region. That is unacceptable behavior, he said, adding that he hopes the curfew will help send a stronger message, keep people out of the impacted areas so we don't continuously victimize people who have already been victimized, who have lost their hope, their homes. Now, listen, brothers and sisters, at the damage. They're saying between 5,000 and 9,000 homes. California wildfire live updates is saying that 179,000 in one area. This Palisade, I can't pronounce that. I don't know why. It's covered almost 27 square miles in this city or this county and destroyed more than 1,000 structures. That's just in that county. Now, Sunset Boulevard is on fire. And the words of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad is ringing in my head. When Sister Millie told us that And she called him their holy apostle. He said, don't go out to California now, because California is going to burn. Now, they're saying that the fierce wildfires burning out of control in greater Los Angeles area have killed at least 6 people now and forced nearly 180,000 or more from their homes. Authorities said the total number of deaths is unknown, because I saw some footage where a person was trapped and they were filming it as the fire approached their home. The article says at least 5 fires sparked by dry conditions and powerful winds. They said winds, 50+ mile gusts, blowing embers miles out, making it impossible to keep up with the fires. They don't have enough people. They're running out of water. Their fire hydrants are running dry. They got, last I checked, was about 6 fires. No, I'm sorry, not 6, 2 fires that are burning unchecked. The iconic Hollywood sign, you know that sign up in the hills, they say it's under threat. I don't know whether or not, last I checked, I hadn't heard any reports that fire had reached it. So if someone knows, let me look at the dashboard. Say, anybody know whether or not fire ever reached the Hollywood sign? Why am I talking about this, brothers and sisters? I don't know what it's going to take for us to come to the realization that the men that have been among us, the men of whom I speak, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, have been telling us and warning us of these events that would unfold. Now, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is silent. He's not going to say anything until given leave to do so. I'm not going to even explain or expound on that. But my question is, what will it take for us to realize that the master of the day of judgment is present? Did we think that America would get away with her evil that she has done and continues to do? Do we think God is finished or has abandoned the pattern of when nations go off course? Do we think that we have the right to continue to live a rebellious, wicked, and licentious life and partake of God's creation, his plants, vegetables, his animals, the cows, the chickens, that submit to the law under which they're created? But man, we are the only rebel in creation. So do we think that God will allow us? How long do we think he will allow us to consume that which obeys him to sustain our rebellious behind on the planet? If we don't think that he will intervene. Hold on. Who that calling me? Okay, I know who that is. He's returning a call. But dear brothers and sisters, I'm simply saying to us, what we are witnessing is something that we need to reflect in the new year that just started, that we're just 9 days into now. And I think we need to reflect on some of the things that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has said to us and revisit them, because he told us and has told us over and over again, we're going to meet and face every word that he has preached as it relates to the judgment and the truths, all of them, that he has taught us over these last more than 4 decades, since 1977, when he stood back up to rebuild the work of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So we're looking at it in real time. And I know there are those of you out there saying, oh, this too will pass. Yeah, it's going to pass, but it ain't going to stop. So this episode, the first one, 2025, I thought it apropos. I thought it best that we reflect and take an attitude of gratitude, thanks, and to remind ourselves to be watchful and prayerful. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, be watchful and prayerful. Shore up your homes. Make sure you have the necessities stored away that you need. In your goings about, be watchful because people are losing it. Distress and affliction, the mental pressure. People are caving in. You're getting more and more mass shootings. You're out in the grocery store. You're out and about and you're around a lot of people. Be watchful and be prayerful. But what God allows, there's nothing we can do about that. But I say to us, especially our women folk, as some of our elders would say, our sisters that are single mothers, sisters, y'all be watchful. Be careful as you go about, because we're living in, as the scripture calls them, perilous times where people have no regard for what's right and what is decent. The reprobate mind is out there, and it's getting worse and worse. And I know some of you may say, as a brother said to me once, man, y'all some doom peddlers, man. Y'all gloom and doom. You Muslims, like the gloom and doom. And I asked him the simple question. I said, brother, if you can show me in the Bible where any prophet of God that showed up to any nation of people, when he showed up, gave that people a congratulatory message saying to them, you're doing great, keep it up. If you can't find that, then you would have to call every prophet of God in the Bible, including Jesus, a doom peddler. Now, warning from God is not peddling doom. It's an extension and an offer of grace and mercy. So, brothers and sisters, we got about 6 minutes left in tonight's broadcast, and I want to get us a cultural moment in for this episode because we hadn't had the opportunity for a while. So, I want to give us a good piece of music to take with us tonight. And I'm scrolling through here, and I want to see what it is can I give you this evening to leave you with a melody in your mind that continues to play in your mind and heart. So let me see here. Let me see. What can I share with us tonight? What you got, Brother Shaheed? Let's see. Now I don't think I'm gonna just give you something that has no words to it. Just something to leave you with. The name of this is Submission. It's what I call it. I wrote it a few years ago. Submission. I call it Dre's Groove.
10,000 fearless on the move.
All right, brothers and sisters, that concludes tonight's broadcast. We want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of the 10K Fearless Tri-State Podcast. God willing, we'll see you not next Thursday, but the following Thursday for another episode. And as we part with you, we want to remind you, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has said to us, he said, quote, "No one can attempt to help our people do anything productive and constructive without feeling personal hurt, pain, loss, being evil spoken of, falsely accused, sometimes beaten, sent to prison, or even put to death. This is the path of Jesus. This is the path of Muhammad. And this is the path of every sincere person who wants to see his or her people delivered from our present condition." Always, always remember, brothers and sisters, self-improvement is the basis for community development. We leave you as we came with the greeting words of peace, of Assalamu alaikum, or peace be unto you.
Sip.
Gotta make a move and take control. Have something we can call our own. So shine your light, help the people see that now is the time for us to be free. And if you waiting on the pie in the sky, you better wake up fast. They told you a lie, cause big fields await the wide awake man. Elijah's got the master.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. This is it. 10K fearless on the move. This is it. Sip. Injustice, we've had enough. All of our divisions we're breaking up. Destiny has been calling us. The spirit of the Most High is guiding us.
See, the time is now. What you waiting on? Quit shooting your brothers. Put your gun down. Come on. They got a cage waiting for you if you keep that up. Early graves coming to you. From that, can't raise you up. Now, Sister Ida B and Fannie Lou, check them out and you'll know what to do. But if you really want your enemy to be alarmed, read the final call. Follow Farrakhan.
10,000 fearless on the move. 10K fearless. This is it. 10K fearless.